Every stroke, every color, every shape is all done with the utmost intention. The artist of this painting obviously had some sort of story, some sort of message that they wanted to communicate. And maybe, just maybe, by doing this painting, it would somehow affect and change our lives. The problem is that just on the surface, when you look at it, all we see is the randomness. All we see is just a mix of colors and shapes, and we have a hard time really grasping the story of this thing. And so right now in this moment, looking at this piece of art, we have a choice to make. On the one hand, we can choose to have a distant respect for this piece, and we can accept it as random. We could accept it as just colors and shapes, and we would never know the depth of the meaning that the artist hoped for. Or we could pursue the meaning. We could try and attempt to go find the artist and ask them, what were you trying to convey with the shapes? What were you trying to convey with the colors? And what might come to surface is a beautiful, powerful story. In other words, imagine if God was the artist of this painting. Imagine if God is the artist of your life. On the surface, things in life might appear to just be random. They might appear just to be chaotic. It might appear to make no sense at all. But once again, we have a choice to make. On the front end, we can choose to simply see it as chaos. We can choose to simply see it as pain and pain alone. And we can have a distant respect for God and never totally understand the meaning behind things. Or we can choose to pursue the artist. We can choose to pursue God and say, God, what is it that you are doing in my life? See, the hard part is that we might not ever fully understand. The reason being is because we aren't the artist, we're simply the canvas. But the difference comes in this, and that just as we look at this painting, we can either choose to stand back and distantly respect it and never know the purpose, or we can choose to know the artist and we can discover a story that just might change our life. The reality is this, is that at this very moment, God is wanting to paint your story, and it's a story better than anything that you have imagined. The challenge you now face is, will you simply have a distant respect for God? Say, hey God, look, I've heard a lot of things about you, and I even heard you put nice colors and shapes into things, but I don't really know you. I'll just keep moving on in life. I'll keep dealing with this pain I have. Will you do that? Or will you pursue the intimate relationship? Will you pursue to try and know the artist and allow a beautiful meaning and message and story to come to surface? Unfortunately, a lot of times in our churches today, with our worship, with our adoration, with our praise of God, sometimes we just have a distant respect. Sometimes we just say, hey God, I know who you are, but I'm not going to get too close. Is it possible that today, for all of us watching this film, that we can choose to be a people that will pursue the artist? And while in our own human understanding, every little thing might not make sense, at least we know the artist well enough to trust that there is a greater purpose behind this. So right now, individually or in your group, take a moment to think about it. What's the story that God is painting? Am I discovering that story? Am I pursuing Him intimately? Or am I simply standing back and just thinking this all just seems kind of random? Take a few moments to discuss that.